sharing a reading experience. I'm reading from a book called What I Heard, and I'm sharing it with you now. Today, I'll go through the ingredients for disaster. I hope you listen and receive something worthwhile from this. This video might inspire you to read what I did. It's my hope that you'll search for the best books and gain information and ideas to help you to become a better person. The more you read, the better you'll think, and the better you think, the more you'll be able to face life's challenges successfully. Here's an end note. The world teaches that changing our environment changes you. For example, feel better about yourself. Buy a new car. The world would like to shape human behavior as it sees fit, but Christ can change the very essence of our nature. When Christ changes the nature of people, the people change their environment through their newfound eyes. I'm a child of God, therefore, I have joy now and hope in the future. 1 John 2:15 through 17 states, don't love the world and what it offers. Those who love the world don't have the Father's love in them. Everything that belongs to the world's selfish desires, what people see and want, and everything in this world that people are so proud of, none of this comes from the Father. It all comes from the world. The world and everything in it that people desire decays and crumbles to dust. But those who do the will of God live forever. I know humans are proud. We overestimate our abilities and we underestimate our outside factors. It's our undoing. How we see the world influences us things that we'll detect and seek. We need to work at understanding this and perhaps adjust how we see things. If we're willing, we will begin to see ourselves with new eyes. In the ancient world of the Mayan, they carved in stone the tree of life to represent the connection of the solid world we consider reality to the fluid world of the sky, not fully understood by the human mind. They knew there was more than just straightforward cause and effect. To dismiss strange coincidences and as happenstance was not only short-sighted, but revealed an unwillingness to glimpse into a deeper reality. Carl Jung explained that the occurrence of related events not caused by conventional cause and effect show we have meaningful coincidences in our life. Synchronicity can be explained as a phenomenon from a higher power that provides a glimpse into a reality that exists beyond our everyday understanding. When we look out for these seemingly coincidental events and recognize them as meaningful, they seem to happen more frequently, and bright colors make our way into our otherwise dull existence. If we are to benefit, we must recognize things as meaningful and then follow the clues and see where they might lead. Long ago, those who were willing to take risks often did better than those who did not take risks. This trait of being willing to face danger still drives us to seek the rewards of risky behavior. Our environment is much safer today. There's no need to take great risks in order to survive, but our inner urge that drives us to live dangerously is still there. This can work to our disadvantage. One of the problems this inherited trait includes the accuracy of predicting where we're going. We don't see slow-moving disasters because our minds are built to respond strongly to quick-moving stimuli. We respond well to the risks that are here and now, easy to see and easy to fix or avoid. Slowly moving, Social changes don't often stir much of a response in our mind. We often feel ourselves caught off guard by slow moving mistakes, such as our tendency of excess calorie consumption or our consumption of little sins. We, as humans, often delay taking another direction unless a crisis forces our hand. Black swan events are rare, so they are not part of our everyday experiences. We are never ready for these types of events. The future? We don't like to think about what will be because if I have to plan for a future, it feels like something is being taken away from me right now. That viewpoint works against all of us. One example is my failure to exercise. Exercise is hard and often mind numbing. Exercise makes me sore. Exercise is painful in the here and now. I don't see any immediate benefits of exercise, only the negative ones. Those positive results that I do happen to notice don't seem to last very long. Now, if I decide to go to the kitchen for my favorite snack, I get immediate rewards. I like that. The first ingredient for disaster is monkey see, monkey do. Being social is an essential part of a normal, healthy human life, and the consequences of being left out can be great. If we are around people, we copy them. It's in our nature. Power really does corrupt, but it needs our help to do it. Corruption is a team effort. It is therefore important to be around those we want to be like. Hopefully, you want to be a decent person and hang out with decent people. And hopefully, if the old alliance is less than you thought, you'll have enough self esteem to drop them and find someone else decent to associate with. The second ingredient for disaster is our lack of correct beliefs. The sense of personal disaster is a moving target. It changes with experience. For example, worldwide, about 1,350,000 people die every year in car accidents. My experience with driving desensitizes me to that number. I have never been injured in an automobile accident, and I'm a better driver than I used to be. I don't think twice about jumping into a car, yet it's the most hazardous activity I engage in. I could die, and I seem to act as if I don't even care. It sounds like I'm making up a story when I say that all the engineering and regulations to make us safer on the road doesn't ever reduce vehicle deaths. Why? Because most drivers will change how they drive depending on the road and how they feel. If conditions are safer, people tend to take more chances. New safety measures usually means we take more chances while we are driving. Take, for example, anti-lock brakes. They should reduce accidents, but they don't. When anti-lock brakes first came into use in Germany, researchers decided to conduct a study of their effectiveness. This study was done over a period of 3 years. Half of the study groups were given anti-lock brakes and half were not. Accidents for those with the old braking system remained the same. Those with the new anti-lock brakes had more accidents. Why? Because the drivers using the anti-lock brakes felt safer. They felt they had extra safety, an extra safety margin. So, guess what? They drove faster, they turned harder, they braked harder than any of those other drivers without the anti-lock brakes. The final ingredient for disaster: proud competitiveness. When we're concerned about how we can get what we want in life or being right, no matter what it takes, we tend to walk over people. Some of those people are a potential support system. Pride can seep into everything that we are and ruin all that we should be. Prideful people are competitive by nature. They want to have the edge and do better than those around them. When we have a proud attitude, we often pit our will against God, saying, "My will, not thine, be done." As Paul said in Philippians 2:21, they quote, "Seek their own, not the things which are Jesus Christ," unquote. The proud person wants to hear others say, "He's the man." John 12:42 through 43 says this: "The proud love," quote, "the praise of men more than the praise of God," unquote. Wouldn't it be better pleasing God rather than elevating ourselves above everyone and trying to outdo each other? The proud person thinks not. A proud person hates it when someone else is better at something. They think it makes them lower in the pecking order. Since their proud belief is everything affects me, they are known for such things as being easily offended, having self pity, holding self justified grudges, and self conceit. They will often seek worldly self fulfillment or indulge in self gratification. Because they're always trying to position themselves, they can be boastful or defensive. They might argue, fight, strive to be in charge, abuse others, create contention between people, and create disturbances to further their position. Proud people need inferior people around so they can prove they have a higher value. Their self esteem is measured depending on where they are on the ladders of success. They feel worthwhile if others are beneath them in achievement, beauty, intellect, or talent. Pride in a person is hideous when concluding that if you succeed, I'm a failure. The proudful person loves to justify their cruelty. For example, they may justify a hard heart towards charities by saying they deserve what they get, with the justification of poor people are shiftless and lazy, or poor people are not competent enough to work. Proud people are not likely to change their mind because it would imply they've been wrong. Pride brings people into desperate conditions because humbly admitting they acted incorrectly is almost impossible. When people decline to change their wrongful ways, then destruction is the only alternative left in stopping their insane quest. Otherwise, everyone would become more and more savage and wicked until they were all spiritually dead. Compare the world in which we live with the ancient Jerusalem or Sodom and Gomorrah. Our world is filled with an abundance of pride. Many people are filled with so much arrogance and pride that it becomes almost impossible to reason with them. Hate has become so contagious that reconciliation almost seems impossible. Often, tragedy is unraveled in someone of prominence. Sometimes they are placed in a vital role against their will. Some character flaw is manifest, and personal catastrophe follows despite their best efforts against the inevitable. In the Old Testament, the life of King Saul stands out in this tragic story of pride. In the first years of Saul's kingship, he was humble and knew God's superior wisdom by asking the prophet Samuel for counsel. But as time passed, he became unprincipled and he was prepared to do anything to achieve his own will. He was willing to manipulate everyone, even his children. Saul changed from someone who was humble and pure into a person who stood alone, angry, and immovable. Saul engaged in a series of prideful decisions that caused his own death, the death of his loved ones, and the destruction of all of his hopes. Saul was not a quitter or a coward, but he was proud and wouldn't change. This happens again and again. Sodom and Gomorrah and later Jerusalem were destroyed as a result of this same pride. The people became selfish and haughty and refused to unite in the cause of righteousness. Likewise, our proudful, arrogant world will eventually cause it to be destroyed by fire. For Proverbs 13:10 of the Good News Bible says, "Arrogance causes nothing but trouble. It's wiser to ask for advice." When we have pride and we want to look like we're the best is when we head for trouble. When we stifle our pride and look for ways to understand other people, we will be more likely to create meaningful positive momentum. For example, many have a strong, polarized political opinions that warp the way they interact with others. They end up causing conflict because they try to convince others they're wrong. Why don't we just try to truly understand the other person's position and why they feel the way they do? Wanting to be right more than wanting to be understanding of others degrades our relationship with our coworkers, our friends, and our family members. Thank you for joining me. Until next time, got care.